Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your week in Nerdom television edition for the week of February 26th, 2018. Wow, I almost just gave us an extra year. This week's TV edition is quite a bit shorter than last week's, so before we can do all that, let's hit in that intro sequence real quick.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
But before we get into the news, let's hit that sponsor real quick. This week's TV episode is sponsored by the Yay Sports shirt. It's the shirt that says, I don't really know what's going on, and I don't really care to find out. Yay Sports! Score a goal, unit, basket, thing. You can only find this shirt on teespring.com/stores/generally-nerdy. Go pick up your Yay Sports shirt at teespring.com/stores/generally-nerdy. It looks a little something like this on front and a little something like this on back. Now let's jump into the news. First things first, we're talking about the Muppets. It looks like Disney will be rebooting the Muppets one more time. They tried rebooting a few years ago on ABC with a more quasi-serious tone. It was a little more sitcom and a little less variety show, and people didn't really take to it. It was pretty split, and the people who actually liked it weren't in the majority. Sadly, because I really dug it. I really dig the Muppets. The Muppets are, I don't know, because I grew up watching them. Some of my favorite movies as a kid were Muppet movies. I just think because they're so old, they are now dynamic characters, but they're trying again with the Disney streaming app. It's set for a release date of sometime in 2019. And also sets a release date for the streaming app itself, which still does not, just like the Warner Brothers app, does not have a proper title. So that's interesting. That's really all there is on that. So we're going to kick on over. We're talking Star Wars. Rumors are kicking around that the title for the new Star Wars has been leaked through patents filed by Lucasfilms. Lucasfilms has been patenting toys and accessories and things with the Star Wars Resistance subtitle. Still no confirmation from Lucasfilm if this is going to be one of the new shows for the streaming app, if this is going to be the follow-up animated show to Rebels, if it's even going to be a show at all, if it's going to be a comic book line, or if it's just strictly going to be a toys line. Nothing is really out there, but it could potentially be one or all of those things. Well, I don't know, maybe not an animated and a live action show, but still, it could be any combination of those things. Let's put it that way. Very interesting. Star Wars stuff always does well, so we're gonna keep our ears open and see what Resistance actually is once whatever it is set to launch. Next, in Say It Ain't So, Charlie news, Lionsgate is working on developing a Blair Witch TV show. Why? This is something that movie studios and producers of content need to learn, is that not everything needs a freaking sequel. Just because one thing did well doesn't mean its sequel is going to do well. And we've learned this with Blair Witch because there have been 2 sequels. And both of them have been horrible. Horrible. So bad. So now they're trying their luck, and they're moving it into a TV show because that's new ground. Just bad. There's no telling on if anyone's picked it up, if they've even started shopping it around. Just not a great idea. And then in our last bit of TV news, we got the second half of the first season of the revitalized Tick show. This past Friday it launched. The weekend is over now, so the spoilers are going to flow. This is, I literally watched the entire thing this afternoon, all 6 episodes, and it's really good. It's really good. You get crazy character development. You almost get, but it's not really, almost get a backstory on the Tick, and then you realize he's just freaking crazy. You get a climax with the Terror that resolves very well, but does not kill the Terror, so we still have a villain for the next season. Not that they're relying too much on the one villain, because the villains for the Tick are so many, and they're talking about maybe using Chairface Chippendale as the villain for the next season, which we know they're getting a next season because we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Just so epic. If you haven't watched it, watch it. I'm debating, let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm debating of doing a full season review, a whole video dedicated to it, because it's that great. It's superhero television probably at its best, and it's funny because it's a lampoon of the genre anyway.
Okay, we gotta take a second before we end this video to talk about the Walking Dead that just aired this past Sunday. I don't understand how you guys don't like this show. Okay, I say that in a broad terms. I know there was like 13 million, just shy of 13 million viewers on Sunday night who watched it, but this is still one of the best shows on television. You have the death of Carl, which is giving this show stakes, because now anyone's fair game to die. Anyone can get bit, because they're deviating so far from the comic books by killing off Carl. Carl's still in the comic books from this point going forward, so there's a lot of stuff that he's a part of, and there's a lot of storylines that revolve around Carl, and now they're getting rid of it, and they're going to assign those to other characters, but just the death of Carl only got not even 13 million views. Their rating share was so low. This is one of the lowest seasons still, and I just don't understand the emotion in this episode, the level of acting that these actors give us every week. It's incredible. And the storytelling that they give us too. The storytelling is you don't see this level of storytelling on TV very often anyway. You have the parallels between Carl's death and then Morgan's awakening almost, and oh man, just so epic. You have the kid at the end of the episode kill Gavin, the savior guy, the last surviving savior of this attack on Alexandria. And how is that not motivate? It's gratifying to see all of this beautiful storytelling done on television. And if you haven't seen this episode, I'm sorry I spoiled it for you, but it's incredible. It's some of the best television that has ever been on television. So that being said, I feel like we can get back to our regularly scheduled week in Nerdom, but just if you've written off The Walking Dead, go back and watch episode 9, which is the death of Carl, and you'll change your mind. I can almost guarantee that. But yeah, like I said, back to your regularly scheduled show.
That is where we are going to end this week's episode, guys. What did I miss in television news? What should we talk about next week? Let me know in the comments down below. If, though, you want to go deeper into the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. You can find all of the freebies up there, all the blog posts and all the social media links, and the links to the stores, so you can buy all of the merch, not just the sponsored merch for this week's episode. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. If you like this episode, click that like button. If you're falling behind in your nerd news and you want to catch up, click or tap that box to the left of my face to do that. But before you go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.